Welcome back. The U.S. federal government is a bloated machine of bureaucracy and waste. Hate to be the one to tell you. President-elect Trump's solution, the Department of Government Efficiency, led by these two, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. This new commission is laying out its priorities ahead of 2025. And I warn you, the list is long, not my fault. Simplifying the tax code is the first thing. Reducing the 6.5 billion hours that Americans spend on their taxes each year. They want to audit agencies. That's because the Pentagon can't account for its nearly $1 trillion budget. Cutting expired programs, $516 billion is spent there on these expired or outdated programs, a total waste. They want to end telework. They want to target unused federal buildings and remote work. They also want project deregulation. They want to tackle all that red tape that delays federal projects. That's very pro-business. Foreign aid and transparency, that would bring clarity to how taxpayer dollars are spent overseas. Protecting entitlements, they consist of about 2/3 of all federal spending. Cracking down on fraud in Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security payments, it's going to be key to streamlining these programs. Joining us now is Fox News contributor Steve Hilton. It's always great to have you, and it was a long list, sir. I want to get your reaction. There is a lot of house to clean here.
Yeah, and I think we need to make it longer. First of all, I just want to say I love all of this. It is absolutely fantastic, long overdue. Funnily enough, years ago when I worked in the UK government in 10 Downing Street, I tried to embark on a similar exercise and it went nowhere because we didn't have the political backing from the politicians. This time, it will work because Donald Trump is right behind it. That's the crucial difference. I want to put the opportunities for savings in two categories, really. Before we even get to the items that you've listed in terms of the federal government and its bureaucracies, all of which I agree with, there's another whole category, which is, should it be done at the federal level at all? And I want to draw our viewers' attention to the 10th Amendment, which is incredibly clear that powers and functions that are not specifically in the Constitution are, and here I'm quoting now, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. In other words, we shouldn't even have a Department of Education that was talked about on the campaign trail. What about all the other ones? Why do we need federal housing and urban development? The federal government shouldn't be getting involved in so many of these things that should be left at the state level. So I think that should be a big part of this as well.
It's a great point, Steve. And I've heard you say, and this might strike people as crazy because it sounds so undoable, but you want to DOGE California. Like you want to go after
yes.
the state that probably needs it the most. And you're a California guy. Can you do that?
It is the state that needs it the most. Here's one way of thinking about it. At least at the federal level in Washington, these agencies and bureaucracies over the years, as you've had a change of political leadership, you've had Republican presidents, Democrat presidents, and back and forth. At least, therefore, you've had some infusion of challenge to the bureaucratic leftist ways. That's not the case in California. Because it's been one-party rule for so long by the far-left Democrats, all these agencies in California are totally infected by this kind of nonsense. And if you talk to businesses in California, as I do all the time, small, medium, large, in any sector, they tell you that the greatest barriers to them doing what they want to do is actually not the legislature or even the governor. It's all these agencies, CARB, the California Air Resources Board. They're the ones banning gas cars, gas stoves, putting ridiculous limits on what you can build. The Coastal Commission, the Water Resources Board that's just starving our farmers of the water they need, on and on. California needs to be DOGed even more than the federal government.
Steve, Kamala Harris is telling her backers she's not going anywhere. She is reportedly considering a run for president down the road, or even in the shorter term, a run for governor. And an op-ed from the LA Times caught my attention because it said, yeah, sure, Harris should run for governor of California if she's willing to fix California's problems, to your point, over-regulation, homelessness, crime. But what I thought is that, Steve, all those issues actually got worse under the Biden-Harris administration. Does she have any business thinking about a run for governor of your state?
Well, on one level, I say bring it on. because if she did run, I think that almost guarantees that a Republican would be elected, which is what we need for the real change that we need in California. But apart from that, I mean, who thinks that Kamala Harris can be the answer to California's problems when she caused so many of them and her party caused all of them? And then when you look at the statement that was put out or the briefing that was made about why she wants to do this, it's not because she cares about California or us here or our lives or anything about fixing our problems. It's because of her own vanity. She says she doesn't want the last thing that she does in public life to be certifying Donald Trump's election victory. That is a terrible basis on which to run any kind of campaign.
California needs to be doged. So does Kamala Harris. I like this doge as a verb thing that we've come up with. Steve Hilton, thank you.